Jake Thompson pushed the elderly man by the shoulder. "Get out of here, Mr. Grayson. We don't sell to old folks." His tone was sharp, loud enough for everyone in the gun shop to hear. Before we dive deeper into this tale, drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know. Let's get into it. The old veteran, William Grayson, donning a worn cap with Vietnam veteran embroidered on it, braced himself against the counter. His hands shook, not from fear, but from decades of service that left marks both seen and unseen. "Jake," he said quietly, "I just came for some ammunition. Nothing else." Jake scoffed. "Ammunition? For what? You can barely stand upright. William, people like you shouldn't even have a gun. You're a hazard to yourself and everyone else." The shop grew tense. A few patrons glanced over but quickly averted their eyes, avoiding the conflict. William's face fell, his eyes clouded with shame. He pulled out his wallet and placed his veteran ID on the counter. "I serve this country. I've earned my rights." Jake cut him off. "Don't care what you did half a century ago, William. Things are different now. You're irrelevant. Take your old medals and leave." Gasps echoed through the shop, but no one intervened. William's lips trembled. He quietly gathered his things, gave a faint nod to no one in particular, and shuffled toward the exit. As the door's bell jingled, he muttered under his breath, "I buried brothers so men like Jake could live free." He stepped outside, the weight of humiliation heavy on him. From inside, Jake laughed. "Good riddance, Grayson." But what Jake didn't know was that William wasn't just any customer. 7 minutes later, the deep rumble of engines filled the street. Black SUVs screeched to a stop, one after another, doors swinging open as men in tactical gear stepped out. A Navy SEAL team, clad in armor and armed, moved with precision, their boots hitting the pavement in sync, their faces set with determination. Inside, Jake leaned on the counter, scrolling through his phone, chuckling at how he'd put William Grayson in his place. But when the bell above the door chimed again, his smug grin vanished. William was back, and this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him, the SEAL team spread out, their tactical gear gleaming, rifles slung across their chests. Every eye in the shop widened. Patrons instinctively stepped back. The SEAL commander, Lieutenant Mark Evans, stepped forward, his voice calm but authoritative. "Is there an issue here, Jake?" Jake swallowed hard, his face paling. No, Lieutenant Evans. Everything's fine." Mark's eyes flicked to William, then back to the trembling Jake. "This man you kicked out, William Grayson, isn't just any veteran. He's the reason men like us exist. He fought before we were born. He carried our flag through fire and blood. And you have the nerve to disrespect him." Jake stammered. "I didn't mean." William raised a hand gently, silencing Mark. His voice was soft, but carried weight. "No need to frighten the kid, Mark. He doesn't know what it costs to bear freedom on your shoulders." Mark shook his head. "With all due respect, William, some lessons need teaching." He snapped his fingers, and the SEALs, led by operatives like Ryan Carter and Ethan Brooks, instantly formed a line in the aisle, standing at attention. Their boots slammed the floor in perfect unison, rifles held across their chests. The shop fell silent as the hardened warriors fixed their gaze on William. Then, in one swift motion, Mark, Ryan, Ethan, and the others raised their hands in a salute. William's lips quivered. His aged eyes filled with tears. Slowly, he removed his cap, placing it over his heart. The room was still, save for the sound of his unsteady breath. Mark spoke again, his voice firm yet respectful. "William, you are not forgotten. Not by us. Never." William's posture straightened. For the first time in years, he felt tall again, like the 19-year-old who marched through jungles far from home, carrying comrades on his back. Jake's face burned with shame. His arrogance melted as he realized the gravity of the man he'd insulted. He bowed his head, unable to meet anyone's gaze. William spoke, his voice steady. "Jake, one day you'll learn respect. Not because someone makes you, but because you've been walking free on the sacrifices of men you'll never know." Mark and the SEALs held their salute until William nodded. Then, in unison, they lowered their hands, their boots snapping back into place like thunder. The shop erupted in applause, some patrons standing taller, others wiping tears. Jake stood frozen, crushed by the weight of his own disrespect. William turned to Mark. "Thank you, boys. You didn't have to come." Mark gave a faint smile. We did, William. We don't leave a brother standing alone. William adjusted his cap, his eyes gleaming with pride. For the first time in years, the sting of humiliation faded, replaced by the undeniable truth. He was still a soldier, still a brother, still honored. As Mark, Ryan, Ethan, and the SEALs escorted him out, the shop remained quiet, save for the echo of respect, louder than any insult could ever be. Never underestimate the weight of a uniform or the man who wore it before you. Honor those who carried freedom long before you held it in your hands. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.